Greetings. I'm Christopher Logan Hilt, the G.I. Joe Gamer, but tonight I am the God and Lord of Independence. Shall you guys introduce yourselves?
Oh, someone's online.
No one's introducing themselves? You guys are going to say hello?
I was waiting for Mom.
We are live.
I'm Tiger.
Has a deity attached to her. I don't have a deity attached to me.
I have a deity attached to me. It's on my tail. The deity of goddess of wisdom.
And I'm Jake Pendragon, paladin of Gwenetharia.
Some other deity.
Into it. Yeah, we're talking mythology and stuff today. So, who wants to start off? What's your favorite mythology?
My favorite? I don't know if I have a favorite, but I have been doing a little research on Fenris Wolf lately. Now, that's an interesting thing. It seems like to me, when you look at the story of Fenris Wolf, that they goaded that poor thing. Like they tortured poor Fenris, honestly.
They did, actually.
They were scared. Okay, so it was a wolf that wouldn't stop growing, and he kept getting stronger than the deities. So they were scared of him. And there was a prophecy saying he was gonna, I think he's supposed to eat Odin or something like that. I'm not really sure. But when they started building fetters for him, they were like challenging him, but also at the same time trying to trick him into being bound. So it's kind of a sad story, really.
I don't know. Is that Norse mythology?
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that one's Norse.
That is my favorite mythology. I like Greek mythology a lot.
I know a lot about Greek mythology.
Greek mythology is told and told and told. I find so little about Norse mythology compared to Greek. It's unreal.
It's like there's so much Greek mythology.
You've got Egyptian mythology. You've got.
That one's the one I kind of grew up with. Is my mom is really into Egyptian stuff, so I know probably quite a bit about the Egyptian. But I'm actually more interested in like Japanese mythology.
Yes, yokais and spirits and the like.
Well, it looks like we got Rudini in the house. Welcome.
Hello, Rudini.
So yeah, I like the mythos of Japan. They have a very interesting ideas on there. Because some of their demons are good and some of them are bad.
Honestly, they feel like they have to have a demon for every phenomenon.
Right, and they kind of seem more like maybe they were like a race of people or creatures or something too.
Yeah.
So, they just have a lot of different interesting and unique ideas, and some of them are really scary too.
Some of the cultures have a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, if you look at Finnish myth, that's where your was it Finnish or Celtish, where the wild hunt came from. I'm pretty sure it was Finnish.
Oh, one of those. Yeah, the wild hunt's actually really interesting.
Tengu.
Yes, we love the Tengu. Those are actually my favorite. I think it's funny they show them as crows in like animes and mangas and stuff, but they actually have a red face with a long nose. So it's the Tengu are actually very different than how they portray them in modern cult like animes and things.
Oh my gosh.
But they did have black wings like the Tengus have. They just have this big red face with a really long nose, and you can actually go see some of their temples in Japan. They have some Tengus with those masks and stuff on. It's pretty cool.
That's true.
Yeah.
So would you say Japanese is your favorite mythology then?
I like all mythology, actually, to be honest.
Honestly, there's just
I really love listening and looking and learning about new different mythologies. Yeah, that's the Tengu face, all right. Anyways,
good find, Rudini.
Well, like recently, I know you said you knew who Nyx was, but I didn't know who Nyx was, and I looked it up and I was kind of reading on it.
I've heard of Nyx. I don't know exactly who she is. I know she's a Greek goddess.
And she's a goddess of darkness.
Oh. So she's their version of Armistara, but we'll get into that.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. I think that partially
But
he's
when they-
spoiled Persona 3 for me.
Well, I was looking for a
Well, I saw
character
the final
idea.
boss's name is Nyx, and now that I know she's the goddess of darkness.
Oh, it makes sense now. Okay, so I was looking for a mythos for a character of mine, a vampire character, and I wanted her to be female, and I wanted her to be older than like Vlad Tepes. So I was looking through some of the mythos, and I ran into Nyx, and they say that she was the goddess of darkness. She wore all black. She only came out at night, and she had a dark chariot that she rode in. And I'm like, that sounds kind of like a vampire right
A
there.
lot of them had chariots. A lot of mythos have their deities riding around. Even Odin rode around in a chariot with a 6-legged horse that pulled him. And Thor had a
Dude,
chariot
I
with goats.
love Odin's mythos. He has some
Oh, yeah.
crows too.
Schlipnir
Or no, they're,
rode
they're
horse.
ravens. Aren't they ravens?
Huggin and Muggin, I think the names are.
Oh, I love
It's been a
ravens.
while since I've delved into the Asgardian mythos, but I definitely.
Then
the
you can get
goats
into
were-
Native American has some really cool stuff too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
what is it? They have the crow is I can't remember what his name was, but he was a mischief maker.
I think he's just the crow.
Was he just a crow? I don't know, but it was really it was
what they call him.
yeah.
Of course, all those deities in Indian mythology could actually be the trickster. It was a lot of times I've seen a lot of that where the snake is the trickster, like you said, the raven, the wolf is a trickster. They like that word, but then you go to the Greek mythology and it's fertility. Every goddess is a fertility goddess.
That's actually kind of true, honestly. You're like, oh, this is the god of wine and revelry and fertility. This is the goddess of wheat and good harvest and fertility. And you're like, what the heck, man?
And fertility. And then Zeus was with a different girl every other week.
So let's pick one and stick to that topic for at least a few minutes. Let's since we started talking Odin and stuff and Fenrir, let's stick with that topic. And what deities do you guys like from the Asgardian mythos?
Thor. Oh, come on, you gotta say Thor.
That's an easy one. I have so many Thor
Honestly,
comics.
Thor and Odin are the only ones I really know.
No, there's one. Okay, wait. I like
He says, I think Gandalf is a little Odinish. He's called Stormcrow. This is true.
That
All throughout the Two Towers.
I was gonna say it's best.
Grunwald Warthog originally called him that, but then Thangol called him that after that too.
Man, I need to rewatch Lord of the Rings again.
Oh yeah, we do. Had a cat named Fenris. That's cool.
Yeah, and then there's Loki.
And then there's Loki.
Everybody's got Loki here, you know.
Loki, Odin, and Thor are basically the only three I know.
Frigga was Odin's wife. Balder was the goddess of beauty and charm.
I don't know who Frigga was, but I know she's one.
She was Odin's wife. Tyr was the god of war and justice. Well,
Tyr
was the forgotten.
Tyr is the one who sacrificed his hand so that Fenrir can be bound.
Right. So they had a lot in that mythos, but the problem is you only really hear about Odin, Thor, and Loki.
Those are the big ones right there. Yeah. That's why most people know more about the Greek ones like Hephaestus and
but you don't hear about Hel much.
No,
or Fenris. You do a bit, but
I like
those are big Asgardian myth deities.
I do know in Norse mythology.
Oh, and for some reason, all of Loki's children are monsters. We don't know why. Fenris Wolf.
That's kind of the way Marvel did it. I don't know if that's a lot of different a lot of different stories tell it differently. Hello, Spine Ticks. Welcome.
Was it Fenris Wolf was one of Loki's kids. The Midgard Serpent was one of Loki's kids. He had destructive kids. You know that?
Yeah, Loki was a half giant. Yeah, well, all giant actually.
You say half giant, you're going into Marvel mythos.
Yeah, into the Marvel mythos. But yeah, he was a frost giant. He was adopted by Odin. Yes.
Kind of like how Disney muddled up Hercules' backstory saying Hera was his mother. No, Hera wasn't his mother. In fact, she was butthurt that she
Okay. They're not going to put the debauchery of Zeus on a Disney film.
So are you saying you guys want to switch to Greek here a little bit? Because that's fine. I'm good with it.
I think we know those ones a little bit more.
Okay, so in Greek myth, you have Heracles, and he's more commonly known as Hercules, but he was originally called Heracles because he was an insult to Hera. That's why he's called Heracles.
Yes. Well, you also had Perseus.
Well, we will shout out to Swag, sir.
All the
Welcome.
swag.
Hera was his stepmama. Yes, she was.
Yes, but she was kind of mad that he exists. Which, honestly, I don't really care too much for Sins of the Father type plot lines, but Hercules is a whole Sins of the Father plot line.
Swag is all about swag. Yep.
Swagger.
And everybody's saying hi. Good to see you guys today. Thanks for being here. We're talking about mythology, and then we're going to get into how we do it in Lenharrow and the deities that we came up with. So we're talking Greek mythology.
We're talking Greek.
Roman
it's all
mythology.
Greek to me.
It's all Greek. Greek had a lot of really cool things like.
And then you get into the Greeks. Wait.
Had
the Romans first, or Greeks first? Because I know the Roman gods and the Greek gods.
The Romans took from the Greeks. It's mostly Greek.
It was Greek first, and then they went over to. Now I want feta. Feta cheese.
Feta cheese.
But Hades had the three-headed dog Cerberus that guarded the underworld.
Yes.
And then Charon, who the ferryman who took people for
the river Styx
to the underworld. So,
honestly, I always like to think of Hades as not a bad person.
He's not
everyone's all like, oh my gosh, he's a bad guy. He's the Lord of the Dead.
And then we have the Norns in the Norse myth, but they were the same kind of
the three witches
in Greek mythology. They're double dipping according to Hercules. I thought that was funny.
Is
you guys double dipping?
Rudini says tiger digging the headgear.
Nice.
And Spinetix says Clash of the Titans. Let's go. Yes, sir. I don't know which Clash of the Titans movie I prefer more because I like both. They both had a different take on.
Got a special place in my heart for the original.
Oh yeah. Oh, the Medusa scene. I'll never forget it. The original Clash of the Titans.
I don't think it's
mine was Bubo. I like Bubo.
He says he hasn't seen Clash of the Titans. We're gonna have to fix that.
You haven't? Yeah, you have. You just were little when you saw it.
They make Karn a god and Kryn Dragonlance. I'm not sure. I'm not a big one on Dragonlance. Mars was Ares. Yeah, same deity. The Romans called him Mars, and the
Romans
called him
took
Ares.
all the Greek gods and renamed them.
They pretty much did.
OG for you always. Yeah, Harry Hamlin as Perseus. It was an awesome movie. And I know that Sam Worthington, I think, was in the newer one. It was still a good movie. Now that I think about it, I prefer the original as well. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I like the captain of the guard that traveled with him. I think his name was
right. And then the stop motion.
Talos, maybe.
You had the stop motion going on, and the crabs. Oh no, they weren't crabs. They were scorpions.
Scorpions, yes.
Or scorpions.
Stingers. Yeah. And then Calabos in the swamps.
Mm.
And the way they just did that original movie was so good.
And then Pegasus.
Oh yeah.
I love Pegasus.
They pretty much threw them all in there.
Like I said, Bubo was really one of my favorites.
Yes, sir. Release the Kraken.
Yeah. Oh, the Kraken was amazing too.
And Poseidon didn't want to release the Kraken. He was kind of sad to do it.
They don't really make stop motion like that anymore.
Harryhausen stop motion. Yep, I've got some Sinbad, a 3-pack of Sinbad movies that we're probably going to watch and do on our Friday show here coming up.
Man, Sinbad's really cool.
Yes,
Sinbad
sir.
Is cool, actually.
The Medusa.
The old style stop motion is just.
That's got to be one of the most creepy medieval fantasy scenes ever. Is that scene where Perseus is trying to get the Medusa.
Right? Oh my gosh. And she looks so creepy too with her little weird glowy type
Trying to fight
eyes.
someone through a mirror.
Oh, her eyes were incredible. Yeah, trying to fight
Right.
looking in the mirror. I sometimes I use the camera to comb my hair. I just throw a hat on. I say, forget it. It's it's backwards. Well, let me see. Swag would turn to stone for Medusa. Wasn't Lawrence Olivier Zeus in the original? Yes, he was, Rudini. Swag says he totally would.
Kinky. So kinky.
Yeah, I think we're all laughing about that one. So, I know I don't know a lot about Egyptian myth, but we could talk Greek myth. We could do a whole show on Greek
my
myth,
gosh.
but-
Oh, I know quite a bit about the Egyptians. Like I said, we got Anubis, Bast,
Elucidate, yeah.
Yeah.
Set or Seth.
Ra.
Who doesn't know Ra?
What? How can you not know the Egyptians? They gods. They put them all up in Stargate.
Stargate, yeah. That's where I know them from. So I got them all
Stargate.
wrong. I got them all Stargated.
So we got to have Emperor U. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, Osiris was a guy in the Egyptian myth, but in Stargate it was a woman. He was inhabiting, and she did an awesome job as Osiris.
Kind of true.
Let's see. Spinetix says this can get filthy, so I'll comment more on the Spinetix live stream about Swag and Medusa to preserve your family-friendly show. Well, we appreciate that, sir.
Please do.
Hello,
Please
Rascal and
do.
Lucy. Renee, welcome.
On. We can't get a little dirty.
No.
we got to do it.
Interrupted. Stop.
Fine. The
So,
dirtiest
yes.
word I'm allowed to say is kinky.
Oh, we get
say
one of
kinky, yeah, that's
F1
fine.
occasion.
We don't mind kinky. That's just just a little bit though. Just a little tiny at the end of the tail. Just a little kink at the end of the tail. That's it. That's all you get.
So tell us a bit more about the Egyptian mythos there, Tiger, since you know so much.
I don't know a whole lot.
Come on,
Like I
tell
said,
us about Ptah,
who?
the father of the Egyptian gods.
Oh, that one I don't know.
This Swag is a bad influence.
No. See, that
We all have friends that are bad influences. I think I'm the bad influence around here.
it's very interesting how the Egyptian gods all had like animal heads.
Yeah, that was weird and cool.
A lot of them had animal heads.
I like Bast.
I love Bast.
Cat
You
guy.
know, like, I was always wondering if Bast and Bastet were the same goddess or not. I can never figure that out.
Some versions they are, and in some versions they're sisters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought Bast and Bastet were actually two different
Well, it's
deities,
just
but I'm not really sure.
It's just as to who's telling the story,
I suppose so. And then you got Horus.
right?
I think he had a falcon head or something like that.
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
based on my Stargate knowledge. and the serpent god's nose drip. Oh, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Let me see. Thoth.
Doffa joke? We gotta tell a Doffa joke.
Thoth was the god of magic according to the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Yes.
Oh yes, I remember that
Osiris, Isis, Horus. Yeah, that's a trio. That's for sure. Had a cat named Bast as well.
Fun.
Did
Was
you
it
have
a black
cats
cat?
as I did, Rudini? I've had a lot of cats over the years.
Oh,
Miss them
God.
all too.
That was another thing I always thought was
I have a
fascinating with
Luna
the
now, so
Egyptians.
it fills that kitty-shaped hole in our
It
hearts.
does.
No, seriously, they mummified cats though. That was really
yeah, they did.
very fascinating.
They mummified a lot of
I
it.
watched a documentary where they found a mummified crocodile. So
Yeah,
I remember that.
I saw that
too.
documentary too. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
they do have a crocodile.
whoa,
too.
they
I
had
don't remember
pet
his name was.
crocodiles. Like, what?
yeah, Thoth, Hermes, Trismegistus.
I thought Hermes was Greek.
Hermes
Yes.
is Greek, but you got to remember the Greeks kind of when the Romans took Greece and they took Egypt, they took from both of those mythos and kind of combined a lot of that stuff together. Yep. Bast is Bastet. Bastet's sister are Sekhmet and Hathor. Yeah. Yes, they are.
He's got a cat named Cheesecake. Oh, how cute is that?
Aww.
I miss my cat.
Cheesecake, how cute.
Cheesecake.
Oh, jeez.
It's like Bear and his cat named Beans.
Yeah, Mary's cat named Beans. A
Come on,
shelf full of
Beans.
passes cat ashes, Benny. Oh,
Aww.
however you honor him is your way to honor him.
We keep them in
So
here.
sad.
Keep him right here.
All
Okay,
right,
so where are we at with talking about deities? And what I wanted to talk about was how a lot of the deities kind of cross over.
Well,
Yes.
there's a lot of deities that we have that are just
Right, like every
This
mythos
baby.
has a god of dead or a goddess of love
Goddess
or
love and
yeah. What is it? The harvest gods were always really popular. Let me see.
we're just
Light, you got light deities, dark deities,
Hey, we're
good
chilling.
deities, bad deities, deities, you know.
though.
Well, it works.
I don't know if Dad means this or not, but I feel like every time he runs a campaign, we're always dealing with deities in some capacity.
Well, they actually, if you're running a game, you don't have to have deities, but I like them because they move. They're the movers and shakers of the world. That's not the right. We have our Putz Ashes, Toby and Bean. Miss them.
So sad.
But yeah,
Why are we having a memorial? You guys are gonna make me cry.
I know we're just filled with the pet feels. Why?
Okay, it's good to remember our furry friends is what I like to call them.
Yeah, Luna's over there passed out
Yeah,
on her
Chris.
tree.
I've had lizards too. He's got a lizard.
She all wouldn't leave me alone earlier. Now she's over there just passed out on the tree.
Renee says I have Rascal's ashes, and I've told everyone when they come to my time comes, his ashes go with mine.
Aww.
Hmm.
Right there for you, Renee.
Yes, we're having a moment of silence.
Silence. Let's see. We were always dealing with the same stuff all over the world. Makes sense. Gods are similar all over. Yeah, it's like when they have vampires in almost every culture. They have dragons
in every
culture. Yeah.
There's just so many things that are like they have so many different stories of the exact.
You know what really creeps me out? Zombies.
Zombies. They really creep me out. Spinetix says he's going to run that clip of Luna on Saturday night for Spinetix. Thank you, sir.
Oh, I love my Luna. She's so cute.
And then Redini says, nice, Renee. And Spinetix says, aw. Oh, and I agree. I'm right there with you, Spinetix.
All of the aw.
Mr. Sith Lordly himself. Okay, so now we've compared a little bit. We've talked about them. So, hello, Legion of Myth. Howdy, sir.
Howdy.
So, when we started making our Lenharrow deities, when Tiger and I met, I had a bunch already that I had come up with.
Most of the ones that are in the book are yours. I've only added a couple.
You helped me come up with a lot.
I helped you with their symbols. The deity names and stuff you already had, like a whole bunch of them.
So we're gonna look at a few of them. I rendered some art today that I thought was pretty decent.
Lots of really nice art.
And so
Yes, you wouldn't leave me alone.
every mythos has.
How's this one look? How's this one look? How's this
every
one?
mythos has a goddess of love, and so here's ours. This is Amara.
Amara.
That is a very good render.
And so our Amara is very similar in a lot of ways to Aphrodite.
So what is you had that said you said you put that on there. So what kind of churches established do we have for Amara?
Okay, that one I have to look up. See, that's a good one.
Amara's church.
Well, since you
Amara holds councils. Their church holds councils. And we have in our Lenharrow game, we have let me see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of churches and orders, organizations, and types of priesthoods in our game system, and we allow for the possibility of none.
Like Logan.
Because there are some that have none.
Like Logan.
Nope. And everybody's still saying hi. Spinetick says, a redhead like my maternal grandmother. Well, that's cool.
Redheads are cute.
Well, I'm a Joe fan. Maybe it was Scarlet that drew me there in the first place. Who knows?
I'm not saying anything.
The picture has a very Celtic feel for it.
So, what we have in a council, this is a good way to do that. Council is a group consisting of all the heads of the major orders of a single faith that must agree on things by a vote. Councils normally elect a chairman to organize their meetings, and there is no classic example of a council found in our history, but there are, as far as a church is concerned. But there are many that are similar in our world today. So, what do we know as a council?
I do not know. But when you said she has a council, I was thinking of like counselors.
Yes, this picture does have a very Celtic flair to it. I fell in love with it instantly when I rendered it today. I'm like, yep, that's my Amara, and yeah, reminds me of Bridget. Celtic deities, they don't get a lot of stories of Celtic deities either, and they have some pretty cool ones. I don't know what you're owing to, but I hope it's the redhead swag. Rudini says reminds me of a cat named Legion.
Going through your chat again.
Swag will convert to Irish for. I don't think he can convert to Irish. I'll count if that's what it takes.
Talk of the Irish.
Well, we do have some Irish in us.
They're one of the tropes of a goddess of love, though. I mean, you got Aphrodite who
she's a fertility goddess.
Fertility goddess. Her son Eros, who they call Cupid in the Greek myth, and in the Roman version of the Greek myth, they call him Cupid, and he's shooting everybody with love arrows. I mean, where did that sound
like? It makes any sense? Fall in love, bitches.
There's a lot of Celtic lore out there, yeah, but you do have to look for it.
Okay, so the idea of that with the arrows is when you fall in love, it feels like you got shot in the heart.
Right. I get that.
So that's kind of the idea of that. You get that. Oh, that person's like, yes, it just got me right there in the heart. So yes, that's how that came about with the whole arrow thing. From what I understand, though, he has an arrow that can make you hate that person forever.
Okay, well, Amara isn't like that. She inspires love through all sorts of different mediums.
I always thought it was more like through art and stuff.
Through art and poetry and dancing and singing. And
love isn't all just romantic love. There's also platonic love, familial love.
This is true, and that's.
All right, but don't go kumbaya on me.
Don't go kumbaya on you. Okay. All right.
Kumbaya.
We'll switch up. We'll go to our god of the moon, and he has a goddess's name from Greek mythology. This is our Artemis.
Looks very otherworldly. I like that.
And he actually does have two different colored eyes because one of them is the color of one of the moons, and the other is the color of the other moon. Lenharrow actually has two moons, but you can almost never see them in the sky together.
I thought one of them was a sun.
No. There's
two suns. We have two suns and two moons.
Two suns, two moons.
But the trope is that they are forever chasing each other and can never be together.
Once every
god of the moon.
Don't you get to see him once every 100 years or something?
Yeah. Amara is very much like a muse, Rudini.
Dude.
What was that question, Tiger?
I was saying, don't we have it like once every 100 years? The two moons are in the sky at the same time.
Yes, we do have that lunar cycle. Sith loves swag, and love for inanimate objects like comic books. There you go.
Video games, right here.
Oh, now we're going into weird kind of. Now we're going into weird loves. Okay.
Yeah, I still have yet to see the foot video for swag on Spine Ticks, and I don't know if I want to see it.
Do I even want to know what this foot video is?
You have to watch Spine Ticks with me.
Oh, dude, he does kind of look like Bowie.
He does kind of look like Bowie. He does look like an elf. Does kind of look like David Bowie.
Like,
Put blonde hair on him, and it's David Bowie. I mean,
now you mention it. That's very strange.
I didn't even ask it to give him 2 different colored eyes. It just came up that way. I was like, there he is.
That's kind of cool. Although Artemis does look like he has some bedhead too.
Yeah. Well,
Or it could be long.
he's the god of the moon, so
flowing.
you know
He's got bedhead.
It's just flowing.
he's not an early morning riser.
No, that's not flowing hair. That's bedhead.
It's flowing.
Okay, now let me see here. Artemis. Let's see what kind of church he's got going on.
Yes, good idea. What kind of church does Artemis have?
So while I'm looking for that, you guys can
Shouldn't it
continue
be
the
a
banter.
circle?
It might be a circle, but
A circle.
Like
Because the moon is a circle. That's why it's a circle. Because the moon is a circle.
like that would make
Were
sense.
we that predictable?
you know what?
I don't think we have it listed.
I don't think we have Artemis listed
Oh,
in
so
the,
then he's
in
a
the
nine.
LPG
He's a nine.
anyway. I might be able to find him over here in my deities guide that I'm working on. So, what are some other tropes of moon deities? Aren't you god of the moon?
Werewolves.
Mythology. Werewolves.
Werewolves.
That's less the moon gods and more.
Oh no, come on, you think about that. Werewolves get their power on the night of the full moon.
Okay.
How is that not deity related? No?
I always think it's weird that it's the full moon.
Well, for
that's
art,
because supposedly the full moon is when all the crazies come out and the wolves pay at the full moon and all that kind of thing. They say that more crimes happen on the night of the full moon than any other night.
They do say that.
It's actually.
I really don't know how true that is.
Another trope of moon gods and goddesses is sometimes they're very similar to like gods of sleep or whatever.
You mean like the Sandman?
Yeah, like the Sandman. Like sleep and moons kind of go hand in hand.
You do know the moon comes out during the day, right?
Yes. I found it in the deities guide.
It is a circle.
It is a circle. You guess correctly. I don't use Artemis very often in my campaigns. What do we got
Why
going
did
on
you pick
here?
Artemis to make then? Just curious.
Dude has cis haircut.
No, seriously. Why'd you pick Artemis anyway? Just curious.
I was going alphabetically at first, and I'm all, this isn't going to work. So I've got
okay, you went alphabetical. No, you should have gone with more popular ones, like maybe, I don't know, the Kings of the Gods, that kind of thing.
Welcome, Bizabar Breaks. We are talking mythology and our deities in Lenharrow right now.
Louisiana mud flap.
Let's see, Spinetick says, yes, my hair is becoming like that swag. Louisiana mud flap.
Okay, I think we're done with Artemis now.
Yeah. Well, let me get through these the comments here. Swag doesn't need the full moon to let out his crazy out. Nope. After that, okay. So let me. What happened? What happened here?
I don't know. What are you doing? You're putting everybody's comment up there?
No. Not all of them. I don't put up all the howdies.
Howdy.
What I meant.
Howdy.
Howdy.
There we go.
Look, I'm Woody.
So, this is actually Ascandus in our game. He's the lord of a group of demigods.
He's not actually a deity.
It depends on the order you're talking about. If in the standard order, he is not. But in our new world order,
you turned that evil little. We killed him. We killed him.
We killed him, and he came back as a god.
We did. We killed him. No, we had a big, huge campaign where we had.
All right. So we're gonna call him dead, and we're gonna move on to Azareth.
Honestly,
Azareth. Actually, surprisingly enough, a lot of people, especially when they play Animan, pick him as a deity. Now, you all put this guy right here and as what he looks like, but when I created Azareth, I always pictured that guy from the king of the Misfit Toys, the winged lion.
Oh, I get you. Like he's a deity. You can look like whatever he wants.
No, I get that, but y'all made him look like this blue thing. I don't.
I didn't do it.
I really.
It's AI generated.
I think the look that I like coming from this render specifically is he's not any specific anime.
I do like that aspect, but why blue?
It was the one that looked the best. Hello, Maiden's World of Wax.
Why not blue?
Well, how many animals do you know are blue? How many?
Oh.
Yes, Rudini. New World Order. NWO. They have that in wrestling too. The NWO.
No, seriously, how many
Is that the
animal
national
people
wrestling
do you know are blue?
I like.
The Spine Tick says Swag likes his feet. Blue or not.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So, Azareth, he's the god of our Animen.
So you should have picked when you should have altered his coloring. I mean,
I could probably still do that, but this was, like I said, these are my just initial.
No. The shape looks actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, it does.
I do like the shape. I'm not too fond of the blue. I'm sorry. Kind of reminds me of Avatar.
Here's another circle.
They're all in here.
Here's another circle. You passed it.
No, he's not. Why is all the deities you pick circles?
Like I said, I was going alphabetical. Yes,
it's the best.
But a circle, we kind of need to go over that because we kind of skipped over it with.
Oh no, a circle is different than a council.
Yes,
a circle is where they all have the same power, like all the priests and stuff.
Our written description for it is a circle is a priestly organization where all members are considered equal.
Yeah.
Everyone puts the group above the individual. A classic example of a circle would be druids. So
that's actually kind of cool.
My cousin's husband won an Oscar for doing the Avatar effects. That's cool.
Which Avatar?
The one with the blue people. I mean,
the blue
people. no one talks about the other Avatar.
Cameron Avatar.
Yes. Animen, animal humanoids.
Yes.
They're a staple in our Lenharrow game system.
We have any kind of animal person to play as a character in our game system you can possibly imagine. Anywhere from fish people to mammal people to bird people. You can even play a platypus person if you really want.
I'm not familiar with Warhammer, but it's probably a very similar type of race, group of races. Because it's not really one race; it's like animal family types, and they're
we put them by family types because it was like a centaur.
A centaur is a mythical creature, but it is part horse and part man. We actually consider those mythical creatures. They are hybrid, legendary ilk hybrid.
No, the Animen are anthropomorphic animal people.
You mean furries?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
What?
Oh, they're furries.
They're furries. They're not furries.
Yeah, there's a
furry.
They're not wearing weird costumes. They
Hey, no.
A lot of
you know what?
players chose
animated. We got fur and feathers and scales. Okay.
A lot of our players chose to play Animen in our game, so we needed to come up with a deity specifically for that race.
All of our players are furries.
I don't know about that.
I'm kidding.
Okay, now we're gonna switch up a little bit. We're gonna go a little dark.
Don't listen to him.
Oh. This would be our king of our evil deities.
We
he is the god, Lord of Force, named Bakuvar. Yes.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm
what you should have done is some of the deity symbols because his symbols are
people with animal parts. Yes, and you can be more animalistic or less animalistic. Yes, it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, we've had people play their Animen more like the anime style where they look all human and they have just the ears and the tail.
You mean Neckos?
Neckos.
Okay, what? They can't all be Neckos. They call the fox
people
Neckos.
Term.
Neko means cat. I know what Neko means in Japanese. It means cat.
It's the branch term for that style.
And then Neko Mimi is the cat ears. So don't pull me on that.
I know what it's supposed to mean. It's just the branch term for that type.
Rudini says now they get the headgear.
Now I get the headgear.
Now, Bakavar is actually a militant deity. His churches are militant in organization, and this is our description for militant orders.
Wait,
These orders are rigidly militaristic by nature and are organized according to rank.
The answer to that, Spine Ticks, is yes.
A classic example of militant order would be Charlemagne and his Crusaders. The difference would be is Tiger part Japanese? Yes.
Yes.
Her grandmother is 100% was 100% Japanese. So.
Yeah, she's passed away now.
She was a cool gal.
Now we're only stuck with the quarter.
Nice. I'm a Hapa tiger. My mother lives in Hokkaido half the year.
I've never been to Japan. I have relatives in Japan.
That is on the list.
Not only do we have relatives in Japan, we actually have a family shrine there.
Yeah, we do have a family shrine. I actually have pictures of our family shrine. Our house symbol is the plum blossom. And like I said, I have pictures of it. Obviously, I don't have my computer, so I can't show anybody. But
warrior monks, etc. Yes, Rudini. That's a militant order of priesthood. And Bakavar is he's our king of our evil deities. He's the Lord of Force. Everything has to be structured in order.
It makes sense that he's militant because what other way to exert your force than to have a powerful military backing you?
Spinetick says, "Sweet, my mother is full Japanese. Father was in the Air Force."
That's funny because my grandfather was in the Army, and he met my grandmother overseas, and they got married overseas. And my uncle actually had dual citizenship. When he joined the military, of course, you have to give up one of your citizenships to be able to do that. But he did have a birth certificate in both Japan and the United States.
We trail off on tangents a lot.
Yes, we do. No, what's really cool is because my grandfather, before he passed away, he got to we had a family honor sword, and my grandmother inherited it, and they had a big, huge ceremony. Now, obviously, they couldn't take it out of the country because it's a national treasure. So what they did is they had a ceremony where they passed the sword to her, and she donated it to a museum for Japan. So I thought that was pretty cool. My grandfather got to be there for that before he passed away.
Legion of Myth, who happens to be named Max. My son's Jake is also a Max.
Hey man, I am Jake on that.
He says his wife is Japanese and he met her working for the USMC on Okinawa.
Fun.
Like I said, Japan and Okinawa, those are definitely on my to-do list of places to go.
I feel my roots very, very strongly. I love almost everything Japanese. I really do. You know, the culture, the food, all of it. I love it all.
Yeah, Bakavar is not really the deity to talk about when we're talking about that kind of stuff. You know what a closer deity to talk about would be? Our goddess of elves.
Falana.
Ah, yes, our goddess of elves.
Now, no real world comparison, but I'm pretty sure that she is also a circle.
She might be, but I think of all of your Lenharrow deities, Falana's the one that actually visits mortals the most.
Well, she has an invested interest. They're really her children.
Well, no, I know that, but I mean, of all the deities, I mean, you've run like hundreds and hundreds of games, and the cup when you talk about our deities, the deities that come to mind are the most is Falana. I've had several of my characters meet Falana, and then the other one is, and we never meet her, but she's our nemesis. Is Mystara.
I did want to, but didn't get to her yet.
Gwenethari is the goddess of light and very big inspiration for a very long time campaign we played in the Remember Ben Canton campaign setting.
And yeah, she has a circle as well. So
that's what I'm saying. You put us against Mystara.
well, that would
all
be
the
her
time.
nemesis, Mystara, and I did take a look at. I did render a Mystara pick.
Yes, I love.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see her face, so I'm not gonna look.
Her face was rendered poorly, but we kind of think it adds to her charm.
Mystara is our goddess of shadows and mysteries and all
I
around
think she's just a cult.
cult, yeah, and witches and all that kind of stuff. Yep,
Cult of
Mystara. They're all her worshippers are cultists.
And she's creepy.
And for our
And I have no idea, but half of my
looks-
characters.
I like that.
So dope.
So, for our description for a cult in Lenharrow is they consist of only a few leaders, and all of their followers are fanatically loyal. Classic example of a cult is being one who worships the darkness or dark powers, demons sometimes. Head of a cult is often called a curate, and their lieutenants are called postulants.
Yes, we're going up against the cult right now.
In which game?
The cult of Harkoth. Okay, we're going up against the cult in the other game.
and
You
then-
haven't revealed that.
Nope.
I thought we were up against the Cult of Winter.
Oh, you're right. Were they cult?
Like, when are we not against
Okay,
Winter
well,
and Carnage?
In the Ben Canton game, when we get back to that, you're actually up against 3.
Yeah, I
Ben
know.
Canton.
A covey of goddesses, and Mystara happens to be one of them.
I thought we were starting over on that one.
Yes, you will be.
Well, it's the same campaign, so it will be the same stuff.
Yep. All right. The evil deity. We'll go take a look at a classic trope we have in our game is Father Time.
Oh yeah, we just call
His
him Father
name
Time.
is actually Momentiar, and he is the head of the
Oh, yes.
deities.
I actually like when you call them Momentiar.
And Momentiar makes it feel like he's our deity.
Well,
right?
yeah,
but yeah, we call him Father Time.
he would be called Father Time by the people because he represents time.
Yeah,
That's
I
just his
remember
sphere of
meeting him
influence.
too. He lives in a tree.
Father Time is swag in 5 years minus the head hair.
Head hair.
Let's see here.
Also, I always
Feeling
pictured his.
that
For some
Spine
reason, I always
Ticks and
pictured his
Swag are really good
beard
friends.
long.
They are. He's a panelist on the Spine Tick show, and they're a lot of fun together.
You should tell him how his hat looked originally.
Oh, and time naturally runs a castle. Oh, it looked like a bowl, and I had to
It
change
was a
it.
bowl.
It's just great.
I think they were going with like an alarm clock or something.
Yeah, the only way I could get him to fix his hat, Radini, was to put in Gandalf hat, and that's what I got. So yes,
Mostly just insult each other.
yeah, they do, but
It's all in good fun.
in a friendly jab sort of way.
It's all in good fun.
But it's fun to take a look at this stuff. Now the current
yes.
deity in our Heroes of Haven's run game that we play at home with our group of players is Harkoth, the spider god.
Oh, you didn't show me this one. Wait.
Well, I didn't. I was saving it for you.
Oh, let's see. Oh, look, Max. His arms are spiders.
Swag says he's a wizard in his D&D game.
Wizard.
If I remember right, Swag, you were saying it's the first time you played, so that's a good choice.
Wizards are really good for first-time players.
Now, I'm pretty sure
That and warriors.
Harkoth is another cult.
Yeah, we already know Harkoth is a cult. We're going up against Harkoth's cultists right now.
Rudini says, I got a friendly jab at the CVS. Oh!
That's for Mom.
Yeah, that would be for Mom. Then we'll put this
I'm really-
aside.
Don't let that.
Thank
get
you,
shown on
Red
camera.
Power. It's a box on
Don't
camera.
tell anybody what's in that box. It's my box. Give me my box. I'm just kidding.
Yes, a friendly jab at the CVS. It can be lots of fun.
Wee.
First time caller, long time listener. I get you. I was hooked right away. I had a buddy at 12 years old show me how to play basic red box D&D, and I was hooked. I got my own expert set not too long after that, and And I've
So my
I
first
made my name.
experience with gaming was in high school, and we handwrit our characters on pieces of paper, and I did not know, and nobody told me that this was an actual game that you can go buy. Okay, I thought it was just something they were making up at school. So I didn't know any of the rules. I didn't know what dice I was supposed to roll, and nobody told me anything. They just said, roll this one for that, roll this for that, roll that for this. And I'm like, and they nobody, I had like 6 or 7 different guys, because I was the only girl, that not a single one of them told me that D&D was an actual set of books that you can buy so you can learn the rules. Not a single one of them told me this. Not one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if it was a shout out or a question there, Rudini.
And then after I left high school, I found out we actually had a club in our school that was for Dungeons and Dragons, and nobody told me about that either.
Yeah, we went at different times. We went to the same high school. Nobody ever mentioned that there was a club there either. I never even knew. I was off and graduated, and she told me about it years later. I'm all, oh,
we're
wow.
Gaming. We would go to the lunch line, and we'd play diceless role playing all the time. We love diceless role playing. We would go in the lunch line, diceless role playing all the time. And here I am graduating high school, and they're all, oh, did you know we had a gaming club?
A little late.
You think that would have been the first thing you guys told me when I started playing?
It was funny though, because a player in her game was a player in one of my games, and we didn't meet through them, but
no,
they met again in my store when I had a shop. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, we called him Mouse.
Yep.
And I think it's really cool. You guys sat there and missed the opportunity of having a game club, yet I actually ran an RPG club in my high school for, I think, 2 out of my 3 years. I know. You're the one that's blocking.
Well, you're the one that's blocking with the deity.
Right, I'll take him off there just for a little bit.
This is the deity of good. Is this Tamar?
Yeah, that's the Lord of Goodness, the King of the good gods. Everyone at school knew who was playing. I wish that was the case where I went. And it was, if this was in SoCal, too bad I didn't know you guys then. That was quite a while ago, my friend.
It was in Southern California. I went to San Bernardino High School.
Yep.
And the name of the gaming club was called Slandrak, which was Cardinals backwards, because we were the San Bernardino Cardinals, which I thought was actually kind of a clever name for a gaming group. But yeah, none of my gamer friends told me about the gaming club. Not one. Not one of them told me about the whole books and game system either. So
honestly, I think if I were to make an actual club name, like I would call it the Bookworms, but instead of worm as in WORM, it'd be like the Dragons Bookworm.
Yeah, but we made the Bookworm.
Yeah.
We now have a bookworm in our game system.
Creature. I like it.
I think Rudini's saying that she comes from Western Sydney, Australia. And Spinetick says, yeah, I'm close enough to drive December, and I would be there right with you on this panel.
We don't live there
anymore.
We don't live there no more, guys. We're in Ogden, Utah now.
On the Lenharrow Adventures Guild server, I post a link to this chat, so in the bullpen. And you've been invited to that channel, so you could join us if you wanted to, Spinetics.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is our God of Lord of Goodness and the King of the good gods, and
does he have a militant?
He's the opposition, so he has a militant.
He does have militant, doesn't he? Yeah, just like the god of the evil. They both have militant.
One more, but we're gonna let Max tell his story. Jake tell his story on screen.
For what?
For your school. You started to.
Oh, right.
Oh, yes, for school.
We weren't here in 2013. We moved here in 2015. Spinetick. Sorry, Jake.
Right. Back when I was going to school, at first there was an anime club that I wanted to join.
It's right there.
It's right there. Paladin kind of dude. But anyway, there was an anime club. We only had like 2 or 3 sessions. Some parent complained that had some bad things were going on there when there wasn't. But during our second or third session,
I blame hentai for that.
I know. We didn't even watch anything yet.
I know.
But anyway, on like our second or third session of that club, one of the club members suggested that maybe we should start role playing, and that was when I was like, "Hey, my dad has a role playing system that he wants to promote. Why don't we try that system?" And so, third session of club came around, and we were making characters and stuff, and then the club shut down. But the people who were playing, that were going to play the role-playing system, came up to me and was like, "Hey, we still want to do this. Why don't we make our own club?" And at first I was super nervous. I've never thought about doing this before in my life, because I was like, me run a club? Honestly, it was a stretch for me to join a club, let alone run a club. But all my friends supported me, and we all looked into it. And we finally made the club, and we just played one single campaign for 2 straight years, and it was honestly the best part of my high school life.
I wish I could say the same. I didn't really get to play D&D in high school. All the D&Ders, I actually moved and I went to San Gorgonio, which is a different high school than San Bernardino High. And all the gamers were over at San Bernardino High. Come to find out, there were lots of gamers at San Gorgonio, but none of them advertised that they were gamers.
Yeah.
They were scared.
So, as I said, I role played when
we
I
were
was
growing up, Dad. They were still considered very nerdy.
Well, there was a satanic panic going on.
That too.
Well, okay, so when I was role playing in high school, like I said, I didn't know it was called Dungeons and Dragons or it was a system. So when I got reintroduced to it, a friend of mine, which was one of Chris's gamers, said, "Hey, you like games?" I said, "Yes, I do." And asked me about role playing. I'm like, "Well, I did do a little bit of role playing in high school, but I didn't know what we were honest. Like I said, nobody told me, well, we played Dungeons and Dragons. I had no idea. They didn't even tell me it was the name of the game or anything. We just played. Anyways, so he invites me to his game, and that's where I met Chris, because Chris was the ref. And so I got reintroduced to Dungeons and Dragons through my friend, a mutual friend of ours. And what was even funnier is Chris's old friend was the brother of my old friend. I grew up with my girlfriend and I. We met each other in like junior high, and I'd known her since junior high. And I knew she had a brother, but I never met her brother. And Chris knew her brother and was friends with her brother for the longest time, but we never met. We never met until
we met through the husband, who was my friend, but I had met him through the sister. It was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting. And when we started comparing our lives, we actually lived pretty close to each other several times too, even.
Yep.
It was very interesting. And the first time I met Chris was actually not at the game system, but it was at his comic book store. He used to own a comic book store. And I was excited because he opened it was only like a few blocks from my house. The only comic book store I was able to go to before that was like so far away, I had to take the bus to get to it. And he opened one like a couple blocks from my house, and I was so excited about it, but then he disappeared. And then we met again at the game club, and it was almost like it was like fate or providence or something. I don't know. It's just
whatever you call it.
Whatever you want to call it, but it was just a fascinating how we clicked too.
All right, I'm gonna put this last one up here. Now we have the kings of the evil deities and the good deities, and we also have the leader of the neutral deities, Father Time. But we also have 3 beings that are above them, called the 3 that are one. Spine Tick says, "Nice origin story."
Nice, the origin story.
Each one is an aspect of one. The one is good. That's the one here in the center with yellow. Uh, white is the great one, and
The great one's neutral.
the great one's neutral. And then there's the dark one.
The dark one.
I think it's interesting. We hardly ever talk about the dark one.
Well, it's because they are still there. Their presence is felt, but they basically are resting after having created the world and everything in it. And they basically put their children in charge of running the world and taking care of the humans and all the different races that they put into the world and all the different animals and creatures. And to them, they're all their creatures. They're not like monsters or animals. To the deities, they're the same. But
right. Yeah. No, I always thought this was an aspect that was really interesting that you put in, that the godhead of the deities was 3 dudes that were the same dude, but different dudes at the same time. It's like he split himself into 3 people so that he could properly run.
Well, he was of 3 minds on the subject. Should I be bad? Should I be good? Should I be somewhere in the middle? And based on the way the people and everything of the world are, he was like, I have to be 3 different people. And that's how the 3 that are one came about. They can still function and act as one, but they are 3 separate beings now. And they have like the dark one is the father of Bakavar naturally, and the bright one is the father of Tamarn, and the great one is the father of Father Time, but
Grandfather Time.
Yeah, the great one would technically be Grandfather Time. But I saved them for last because that's not really the core of our mythos, but it's
kind of is
where the mythos comes from. We don't have one single deity that rules over all the gods. Like
we
most
did have one take over.
Yes, that's in the new order.
Like Voltron.
Like Voltron. Yeah. Like Voltron. I like that. Only there's 5 lions. In this, there's only 3.
3 lions.
I have found in researching mythology
15 vehicles
that there are certain numbers come up in mythology that are pertinent. 3 is a big one, 7 is a big one, and 12 is another big one, and 13 actually is a really big one. So we kind of incorporated those numbers into our game system. So we have the 3 that are 1, we have the 7 lords of goodness, and so forth. We put all those aspects in there because I found the best way to present a game is to make it seem familiar but not be familiar at the same time. So that's where we were going with it.
A little bit of mystery.
Sprinkle a little bit of mystery. That's right. And so I haven't over the years really developed a lot of my deities. They're there. And we put them in the game system so that refs can use them if they want to. There are certain ones that I like a lot. I mean, I like Tamarn. I do like the 3 that are 1. But as I have to say, as a referee, I go to the bad deities all the time. I constantly have my players up against Servants of Mystara or Harkot or Bakavar. It's been a while since I've run Bakavar, but
that is very true. I haven't heard from that dude in a while, man. I have not heard from that dude in a while.
Finally decide to stop.
It's Mystara lately. Mystara.
Mystara is she's just one of those deities. And when I rendered this pic of her that you love,
it's almost like tryptophobia on her face. Okay? It really does.
And it's perfect for her because that's the way she presents herself.
Either that or creepy clown. Creepy clown. Either get creepy clown vibes or
creepy clown woman.
So, since you guys
want to play a character that just refers to Mystara as creepy clown woman now.
Since you guys have played Lenharrow and have experienced the way I run deities and run a game.
Rudini has an interesting.
That's actually an interesting question.
That's the final point here. How active are they in the affairs of the people? Now, see, that's kind of goes into what I was going to ask. But no, not Clown Holio. I did like that, Spontaneous. But
Okay.
This is a good question.
It is a good question. I like that question. And
best spoken from the words of my players. And I know that Rascal and Lucy had to take off because they've got a live stream coming up. So
honestly,
nice.
I could sum it up as they are very active in the affairs of people, yet not at all.
Kind of true. Okay, so there hasn't been a time when Chris, we wanted to would destroy an evil altar and someone didn't get cursed from doing that. Like, honestly.
We do that so often. It's a shrine of Baccabar. Destroy it.
You are now cursed. Okay, no, I can't say that. Okay, we've actually destroyed shrines of minor deities and not gotten any repercussions. But you don't mess with a shrine of an evil deity unless you have like at least 3 priests of the opposite deity to help you break it down. Otherwise, someone's gonna get cursed. Someone always gets cursed, taking down just an evil shrine of an evil deity.
I think Jake's taken down a few shrines of Mystara.
Yeah, Jake's been cursed too.
He's been fixed.
So, but from your perspective,
that's good. That's not what we.
So no children for poor Jake.
No,
okay.
Jake's fine.
Oh, I gotta do it.
Why? No.
Do we even want to know what he wants to do?
There we go, right there.
He posted to the YouTube hashtag Jake is fixed for the win.
It's just gotta go up there. I mean,
oh, look what you did, Max. Oh, you said it yourself too. That's what's really sad. You said it yourself.
It's okay, bud. We'll talk about other things now.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay, so from your perspective, guys, to change the note, and we'll start with Tiger because Jake is just a little embarrassed. What is your perspective on Lenharrow mythology?
I like how it's similar but different. Like you take like popular things that they were deities of, like light or the moon or the sunrise or the harvest. Actually, I don't even know if you have a harvest deity now that I think about it. But anyways, you do stuff like that. And but
I'm sure one of them has that field of a sphere of
influence. Sure, we'll just throw harvest on somebody else. Maybe it's what is it, Destine? No, not Destine. Fortune Forsyth, yeah, Forsyth.
Wouldn't it be like the god of the earth or something?
Maya. Could be Maya.
Could be Kelvon, the Lord of the Druids too.
Kelvon, yes. But you have some of them even sound familiar too. Your deities, some of them have a familiar sound to them, and a lot of our gamers click with them. They'll find one that is interesting to them, and
one.
But what's really cool too is you have a backstory for all your deities. There is this backstory as to how that deity came about. Like Artemis became the deity of the moon because he was able to capture both moons in his eyes, which was really it felt like real mythos is what I'm trying to say. Is you put in some real life feel of a mythos, because you got like weird deities like
I've written stories for a lot of them.
Zeus had a headache and out popped his daughter or something like that. So you have
coincidentally was named Artemis.
Yeah. I'm just saying that you put a mythos into your deities, or our deities, I should say, that gives it more life. So like for people who want to make their own deity system, a good idea is to have that kind of foundation, I think.
Rudini says, got to split, guys. Need to run it into store. Maybe back, depending on how late you guys are on. We're probably only going to be on for another half hour to an hour tops. But we appreciate you being here. And if we're still on when you come back, you'd be welcome to join us. That's for sure.
Is Rudini on our Discord?
I don't know, but the link to joining the Discord is in the description. So, and I figured out how to make it a permanent link.
Yes.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Well, good. I'll leave the tech stuff to you because I don't know any of that stuff.
Okay, so any other thoughts on our mythology?
Not that I can think of.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Except I hate deity curses. Why am I always the one to get them? Wait. Why am I always the one to get them too, by the way?
You asked for them.
I do not. I do not. You always give me a curse. Of all the gamers, I think I've been cursed the most. You think you'd like me or something? What the heck?
Okay, so Jake, your take on Lenharrow, and then I'll give my take.
On Lenharrow deity specifically?
Man, our mythology.
Well, the mythology is almost entirely revolving around the deities. You don't sit there and, you don't have, special Lenharrow creatures, except for,
Yeah, we do.
Okay, we have Garns.
Garns aren't the only ones. What's wrong with you? Oh, come on. Okay. If I was actually playing Tiger, she's got so many curses on her, she don't even care no more.
Oh my gosh, she's just curses on top of curses. I wouldn't be surprised if you cut her open and she just spews out curses.
So go ahead and continue. I'm sorry to interrupt you. How has it affected you in playing our game?
Well, I think my biggest experience with the Lenharrow deities has to be specifically with the Remember Ben Canton campaign with Jake, and
we have played it the longest.
Yes, and also the deity thing in general was such a big character motivator for Jake. And
well, you chose a big one, a big deity.
Well, Gwenetharia is by far, yes.
And we didn't get to mention Gwenetharia. I didn't have a...
If you say so. I kind of like Shalana.
Goddess Leia, so he's the goddess of hunting. I like Sonya, the goddess of...
I like Sonya too.
Well, the reason why I chose Gwenetharia is because it fell in line with my own personal world and how I would interpret gods and goddesses and stuff like that. So in my personal world, there's only two gods, a god of light and a god of darkness. And so Gwenetharia spoke to me because that the Lady of Light.
And, and do you have anything else to add? Or I was going to add something to that, but
well, you can start, I guess.
Well, if you have anything
I don't have anything more.
Okay. My goal,
demo over. Give back sword.
There you go.
Inside joke.
My goal creating deities, though, was to present a mythology, but also have deities that people can relate to. Like Jake said, Gwenetharia spoke to him as a player, and I've created so many different deities for Lenharrow, dozens, in fact. And then I have the Ancient Order and the Standard Order and the New Order, and they have certain different deities in those different orders too. But then in the deities guide that we're putting together, you're going to be able to, as a referee, pick and choose and mix and match however you want based on, and change the mythos to how you want that character, or you can come up with your own. We're going to have stuff in there.
And yes, we have cross-contaminated guys.
Oh, yes.
we have had some other deities from our world mythos show up too, like Bast, Anubis. Anubis was a big one. Odin and Thor. Those are ones that we have joining our Lenharrow deities sometime.
Well, part of our mythos is that Odin actually gave the three that are one a gift that helped them create the world.
I did not know that.
See how you are in your Norse mythology obsession.
Well, also Zeus did too, but in a different way. So yes, I have incorporated a lot of that into the mythos, and the Egyptian, some of the Egyptian goddesses actually married. A couple of them married two of the aspects of the three that are one, and a lot of the children of the Lenharrow deities are from the Egyptian goddesses. So I used Nephesis. That was one of the ones I used, and let me see. I created one called Cosmere. That is the goddess of outer space. That's based on another deity that I had read about and really liked, and so.
What do you mean, like Kronos?
No, not Kronos.
Kronos was crazy.
Kind of crazy, yes. Would be wild if Jake grew the same beard as Logan and they both sat there side by side.
What he's playing with right there on his chin, he has not shaved ever.
Oh, I've shaved a couple days ago, and this is the stubble that came back.
Actually, at the same age, I couldn't get hair to grow on my face to save my life, and now I can't stop it from growing on my face.
So you just decided to live with it.
Yeah, I decided to live with it. But I like my beard, and the Tiger tells me she likes my beard. So,
okay, he looks weird without it, guys. He really looks just so weird without it.
Honestly, he reminds me of his brother, Carl.
He does.
Oh well, that can be both good and bad. So he's a handsome dude. Okay.
Okay, I don't.
Well, yep, I can take it. I can take it.
Oh my gosh! You're a chia pet now.
Oh my gosh!
Chia, Logan.
Logan.
Here we go. I did it to them, so now I got to do it to myself. There we go.
Logan
Chia pet beard.
They probably have one too.
Thanks for that, Spine Ticks. That was good. He says, "Ha."
I don't know. I remember seeing an old Chia Pet commercial for Chia Pet Jesus. Like, that's out of hand. I swear.
I think that was a comedian. I don't think that was real, but
I saw pictures.
I saw pictures. Okay, you could probably look that up.
Who knows?
We're gonna Google Chia Pet Jesus.
Someone made a Chia Pet toilet.
I remember
like, something more modern, but someone bought like a bunch of Chia Pet seeds and covered their toilet in them. It was gross.
We used to have a person live down the street from us that used old toilets as planters.
Oh my gosh, that was.
And on that
so
note,
weird.
you just lost us all our viewers. No, just kidding.
Well, they did. I always thought it was weird.
Hey man,
there was a gross Chia Pet over the toilet.
Rudini left before we started talking about that stuff.
I think they're jokes, to be honest.
Well, you might not be the only one. The SteamYards doesn't really tell the truth all the time about how many people.
Right? It's weird.
It is kind of weird. Anyway,
they have a weird Al Yankovic.
While the Tiger is googling the weird Chia Pets, Jake, any final thoughts on mythology in general and Lenharrow?
They do have beard chias, guys.
No.
Honestly, mythology as a whole is designed to inspire people. And I think the same can be applied to Lenharrow mythology. Like, a lot of what mythology in Lenharrow is meant to do is to incite the imagination within players and give them an idea of what the world is supposed to be like. So, having that strong mythos in your game world is very important for structural narrative. And from a gameplay standpoint, it just makes the world seem more alive for your players.
Dude, you're never gonna guess what I found. I found Cthulhu.
Chia Cthulhu? We honestly, save that for me and I'll send it to the old geek.
Oh my
my god!
He's all into Cthulhu. That would be so funny.
I found Cthulhu.
Before I go on to Tiger,
Yes.
If anybody watching and is in the chat, and you have a mythology question or something you'd like to add, please do so. And then while Tiger is giving her sum up.
Sum up. Don't I sum it up? Why do you always throw it at me? What? Sum me up.
Jake already did.
I did my thing.
Your turn. Now tell us how
I thought I went first.
What your final thoughts are on mythology in general and Lenharrow.
Mythology in general. Okay, so I am in agreement with it sparks the imagination. It does give like an aspect to your world that makes it more real, especially since we've had plenty of mythos in our own world. It gives a religious aspect to your world. It also gives a history, because a lot of even our history was moved around by major religious groups. So a lot of history in a game world that you create is going to be moved around by these religious groups. So I think it's kind of an important aspect to gaming and a gaming world. And, you also got to figure out where all this magic's coming from too, guys.
That's cute.
In a game world where there's a lot of deities, I think history would be very chaotic because of so many different factions clashing. Like, I even think there'd be instances where good deities had clashed with other good deities in certain instances.
We've had that happen once.
Well, I'm of the opinion that only the three that are one in Lenharrow are omnipotent. In most of your pantheons, you got Odin, who's supposed to be omnipotent, but he really isn't. Zeus isn't omnipotent. He's prone to temper tantrums. And
oh my goodness, Zeus is such a child.
He's very horny.
So I see.
I'm sorry, Zeus is a child. He really is.
I see the deities as children of more powerful beings that are powerful and can affect the world. But they're not omnipotent.
No.
And so in that aspect, there's plenty of room in the world for many deities to function and work and gain worshipers, and a ref can pick and choose. They don't have to have them all. They could have just one. They could use Lenharrow and use Asgardian mythos. They could use Lenharrow and use Greek or Egyptian.
Or if you want to be boring, you could do Christianity.
However, I think a game system that doesn't provide deities for people to pick and choose from, I mean, it kind of works for like D&D, where they say, oh, well, here's our deities and demigods, and they show you the deities from the different worlds. But then you go over to Forgotten Realms, and they have a lot of their own deities. And so does the Greyhawk system. And, my favorite was Ravenloft. And each one of those Dark Lords was pretty much a god in their own realm. And they really were. They were so powerful that, there was only certain things that could take them down. And then
yes.
If the curse part of it wasn't broken too, in many cases, they just would come back.
How many times must we kill Strahd?
Yes.
At least 6 or 7 more dozen times. But that's for next year.
You guys have no idea. He's made me play that module almost every year for Halloween.
I'll do a review on that this month too.
How many?
Hey man, it's a badass module.
No, I'm not saying it's not badass, but when you played it like 50 times.
Well, I'm still on my high from my last Ravenloft campaign. Dude, I narrowly dodged Strahd's sword.
Well, I add something to it.
Chia Strahd. I wonder if there is a Chia Strahd. That'd be awesome.
I'm willing to bet there's a Chia Dracula that can substitute.
Chia Dracula.
Oh, she's gonna look it up.
Well, you told me to keep the Cthulhu one, so now I gotta get a new thing for.
Yeah, but you gotta think of those aspects too. In
it's here.
In the original deities and demigods and the legends and lore, they had deities for goblins.
Ooh, creepy! I don't want Pennywise. Why do that makes sense though?
Thank you, Spine Ticks. That was funny. Chia Straw, that was great.
Yes, we got Chia Bob Ross.
Because I think we've run our course on this discussion. We're looking up Chia Dracula now, so
I'm not looking up Chia Dracula. Oh my gosh, why?
They have.
This is a terrible rabbit hole, guys. Don't go
They have
down this rabbit hole.
Ghost Ace.
Don't go down this is a weird rabbit hole.
Okay, dueling phones here now, guys.
Oh no,
So-
wait. I want this one. I want this one.
Not quite. Is that a Pat Maria? Oh, that's wrong, Rick and Morty.
Mr. Miyagi, come on.
No. The rabbit hole you never knew you wanted until now. And we bring it to you right here on From the Hilt. Direct. Oh my goodness.
Oh, look, they have a chia pet for growing grass for kitty cats. No, seriously, this is cute, guys. Look, you can chia grass your kitty cats.
Oh no.
All you guys
Like
that
that,
have
okay,
kitty cats.
Cats like to eat it. Wax on, chia off.
You know,
Yes,
chia
sir.
seeds are actually healthy for you to eat.
I got food, guys.
Okay, yes. It hang on. I'm being told that we need to go off here because we got dinner. So
We have dinner. When do we have dinner?
I think we've run our course on this conversation. So
Wait. We got one more chia for Halloween, guys. One more chia for
Okay.
Halloween here.
Elvira, no. Oh,
Imagine someone joining in just now, and it's like, I want to go on this dating discussion. Chia! Chia!
thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat. Thanks for everyone who watched, and thank you for watching our silliness in the replay if that's the case. And
You're into that sort of thing.
we hope you like Lenharrow. We're sharing it, and that's our take on Lenharrow Deities. So on that note, good night, everybody.